next guest is a poet, artist, and educator who lives in Chicago. They are the author of The Plural, The Blurring, and On My Way to Liberation. They edited the anthology Subject to Change, Trans Poetry and Conversation. Lambda Literary awarded them the Judith A. Markowitz Award for Emerging LGBTQ Writers, and they've also been named to New City's Lit 50 list and Windy City Times' 30 Under 30. They helped organize Queerosity at Young Chicago Authors and work at Women and Children First, just up the street, Chicago's feminist bookstore. Please put your hands together for H. Belts. Good night. Want to bring these down a little or no?
No, it's good.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My name is H. Melt. I'm a poet. I use they, them pronouns. I am going to read some poems for you all tonight, some old and some new. Some from a chapbook that I published with Haymarket Books called On My Way to Liberation, and then some from a forthcoming book with them called There Are Trans People Here. So I'm going to start with the title poem from the new book, There Are Trans People Here. There are trans people here. So many trans people here is what I'm trying to say. When they say we are all trapped in the wrong body, imposter, impossible, no. We are on the bus next to you, in the cubicle next to you, in the checkout line next to you. Some of us are sex workers, teachers, artists, nurses, homeless, unemployed, and hungry too. We are as real and complicated as anyone else. But they won't stop murdering, stop legislating, stop imprisoning, stop claiming we are ruining our countries, families, friendships, and futures too, when every day we awaken to build them anew. City of Trans Liberation, after Martina Espada. City of Trans Liberation, where statues of Lou and Sylvia dance in the streets, where no kids are kicked out or run away from home, where nobody asks for ID or our real names, where everybody has a body they believe in, where we walk outside in the daytime without being harassed, where we are taught to love instead of kill ourselves, where Trans Day of Remembrance celebrates those who died of natural causes, where there are no borders between who we were and who we are becoming. On Trans Street. On Trans Street, everyone knows your chosen name. On Trans Street, there are bungalows, courtyard buildings, and rent control. On Trans Street, there are bike lanes, abundant wheelchair ramps, and prompt snow removal. On Trans Street, there is free STI and HIV testing. Doctors prescribe hormones and perform abortions without a fight. On Trans Street, there is a school where trans history is taught by trans teachers. On Trans Street, there is a mural of Miss Major at Stonewall. On Trans Street, Juliana Huxtable is the resident DJ. On Trans Street, no TERFs are allowed. On Trans Street, no catcalling is allowed. On Trans Street, there are no prisons, no checkpoints, no police stations, no military bases, no detention centers. On Trans Street, the cemetery is always full of visitors. On Trans Street, we are never alone. Moving off the street into the house. This is Trans House. At Trans House, there is a garden where berries and sunflowers grow. At Trans House, there is a pool where children learn how to swim in a suit that fits them. At Trans House, the fridge is full. Everyone cooks or cleans in the kitchen together. At Trans House, there is a zine library and Happy Birthday Marsha playing on the projector. At Trans House, there is a basement with a dungeon and dance floor. At Trans House, the neighbors are not afraid to leave a spare key. At Trans House, when a fuse blows or the toilet overflows, we know how to fix it. At Trans House, light fills the living room, where comfy couches allow us to finally relax. This next poem is after a punk band called Gloss. This is called Trans Day of Revenge. On Trans Day of Revenge, cis people will come out as cis, use the wrong restroom, be called by the wrong name, lose a job for being cis, be the only cis in the family, fail to pass as cis, never feel cis enough. On Trans Day of Revenge, all books about cis people will disappear. Cis characters will be played by trans actors. The news will only talk about trans people. The train will be crowded with trans workers. On Trans Day of Revenge, playgrounds will be full of trans children, laughing, learning, and loving. Isn't that the best revenge? All right, I have two more for you. This next one is called Every Day is a Trans Day. Whether it's snowing or raining, midnight or you're awaking from a nap, working an 8-hour shift or watching reruns, buying groceries or folding laundry, celebrating a birthday or burying a friend, lighting a candle or taking a bath, calling your mom or cleaning the kitchen, mixing cement or cookie dough, waiting for bread or the sun to rise. Every day is a trans day. All right, I'm going to end with a poem after Jamila Wood's poem. This piece is called Translit. Translit is bullshit unless it is written by trans people, unless it is read by trans people. I want translit that breaks linear narrative. I want translit to bash back the police. I want translit to take up an entire bookshelf in the library. I want translit in every classroom, in every backpack, in every pair of hands on a long commute. I want translit not to be a federal crime. I want translit in prisons to set my brothers, sisters, and siblings free. Thank you.